What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Is essentially right there in the name. It's a portmanteau of black and accent. So Blaccent, or what I'm thinking of as vocal blackface, are kind of interchangeable. They're both instances of people who are not black adopting African American English or African American vernacular English.
Seems like it's been in show business for decades.
Their entertainment, though.
Yeah. So why do people keep using it?
It's cool.
Stope.
Again and again and again. Let's get a historian's take on why entertainers use Blaccent.
You ain't nothing but play Elvis on the spot.
But see, Elvis, people like Elvis, he grew up in it.
That's the story.
And we know people who grew up in our communities who sound just like us.
Ain't no faking it.
Right.
Right.
My problem is when people put it on like a costume.
As you guys seen in the video, they want to be a part of it without actually being a part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to pull something from y'all, but I don't want to be exactly who you are.
Right.
1,000%. Yeah, bro. Elvis definitely grew up in the black culture, so you can hear a whole lot of his inspiration in his music. So, facts.
Especially this song.
Yeah.
Elvis's recording of Hound Dog is super interesting for a couple of reasons. The first is that it is a cover, which is probably news to a lot of folks because a lot of folks think of it as sort of an original Elvis track, but it's actually a cover of Big Mama Thornton, her version of Hound Dog that actually preceded it by a few years. You ain't nothing but a hound. That it launches a young Elvis Presley onto the international stage in a major way, and he becomes lauded as sort of the king of rock and roll, whereas Big Mama Thornton is largely forgotten by mainstream audiences as being one of the major architects of rock and roll.
Yeah, and it's not just her. There's a lot of artists in that industry at that time frame where they were going to these white studios and they wanted to record their track, thinking they're about to get the check, about to get radio play, and the second the track is recorded, they'd be like, I can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? And they will pocket it.
Yeah.
And then set it to a bigger person, and then they will make that track. So the original artists don't be getting a lot of, the attention and the flowers they deserve.
Yeah, regardless of where they recorded it at. Like, if they even was playing it for shows or whatever, it will still be taken and remade.
Yeah. Today it's called samples.
During this time, radio was largely segregated, and it meant that black musicians and white musicians were rarely, if ever, played on the same radio stations. So we start to see the first all-black radio stations at the tail end of the 1940s and into the 1950s, and the first black radio station was WDIA in Memphis.
The place where the blues began in Memphis, Tennessee. WDIA invites you to join us in asking the man upstairs to smile on us today.
So even white artists like Elvis were huge listeners to stations like WDIA and these race music stations, and they were being influenced by the new culture and the new sound that they were being introduced to.
A lot of people, when they heard Elvis, thought he was black, didn't they?
At first, yes.
Yeah, they said he's playing black music. He's a white guy.
Yeah, but see, at first he was playing more like rockabilly. He wasn't really getting into the things that he started to do later. But when he started to do that, then he started to turn heads, including mine.
The real issue at hand here is that there was an imbalance of power. So while white artists were busy sort of adopting, covering, and appropriating black artists' songs and seeing huge profits from these covers, black artists were largely not seeing the same profits, not seeing the same success, and not having the access to the music industry that white artists were. Early rock and roll was invented.
But see, I believe that it goes back even further than that. Now, y'all gonna have to excuse this name because I kind of remember it, but I don't know if I'm correct. But the vaudeville, the minstrel shows, they were doing it back then. When they were putting on blackface, who were they imitating?
Right.
Who they was listening to the plantation talk.
It goes all the way to the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a black creator. I mean, you may have probably one. but majority of the flow was going to, you know what I'm saying? Like the money was going back to, so yeah.
Invented by black people. Folks like Chuck Berry were duck walking and swiveling their hips before Elvis ever came on the scene.
Crazy. Come on, man.
Nat King Cole, he's being run out of town, beat up by mobs.
So near or far.
Whereas Elvis, who's, making young white teenagers swoon, is seen as a sex symbol, someone who's edgy, someone who's ahead of his time. So there is a double standard.
Wait a second. So Elvis sang like black musicians and became the king of rock and roll. But it looks like the trend of white people speaking like black folks started even earlier.
One of the earliest examples of vocal blackface was definitely the radio show Amos and Andy.
Andy, wake up, wake up. Hello? Ain't answering the telephone. This here. Come in here and wake me up like this.
It premiered in 1928, and it was wildly popular and successful. Millions of Americans tuned in 5 nights a week to listen to these two white actors who got their start on the minstrel and vaudeville stages basically perform as black men. There was this sort of racial tension and anxiety caused by the Great Migration. Millions of people fleeing from the South in order to escape restrictive laws and racist laws, as well as class tension and anxiety caused by the Great Depression. And so people were looking for ways, particularly white people were looking for ways to reinstate or reaffirm their control on the racial hierarchy of this country. And I think that made the show, Amos and Andy, even more appealing to these audiences.
So appealing that they made spin-off movies.
The Kingfish is coming over to talk over a big proposition.
Cartoons. Even a TV show.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. It's like, I'm going to use this analogy. It's like milking the cow, but hating the cow. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're going to keep the cow in the field, but we're going to use the milk to feed the family.
Right.
And that's basically what all this was. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can you be as racist as you are, but still imitate an individual that you hate?
And watch it.
And watch it. I mean, and by the loads.
I don't know, baby. I don't know.
That's crazy.
When I don't like somebody, I ain't watching it.
I mean, and you would think so, right?
Yeah.
So it had to be something more special about us at that time and still today as well. So
yeah.
That guy's a big winner.
The Amos and Andy show actually led to the first all-black cast of a television show in history, and I think that complicates the ways that we have to look at its legacy. These actors who were on the show were instructed to maintain the Blaccent and maintain the sort of caricature of the earlier radio program because that's what made it successful, and the producers of the show thought it was more authentic.
How do you do there? Tweet.
By forcing these actors into sort of a narrow role, they were essentially forced to adopt this really stereotypical version of themselves and reflect back to white audiences what they expected more than what was actually authentic to the black experience.
Where's that husband of mine? He didn't come home last night. He left us note saying he was going away to make his fortune and he'd come for me later.
In some ways, it gave opportunity to black actors who were looking to express their talents. And in other ways, it perpetuated the violence and the racial stereotyping of the original program.
But Professor Bainbridge, this was the 1950s. Surely we've made some progress since Amos and Andy. Right?
Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Because she might disappear. Saw that? Right? She came back, though. She liked it.
The continuing controversy around Awkwafina and her use of Blaccent has a lot of different moving parts, and it started very early in her career.
Make your girl panties cream. Yo, spreads hepatitis C.
But she adopts sort of an African-American accent while she's rapping. And then after that, she becomes better known for her acting than her music. But even in television and film, she's still adopting this very particular African-American vernacular English while she's performing. And she's largely performing funny characters, comedic characters.
You gon'
Okay, before we get into, maybe I should say my statement before that. But what I have found is that a lot of foreign communities, when they're learning English, they learn it from hip hop, listening to hip hop. And I remember stumbling upon an Asian R&B song, and I'm like, hold up, this sound good. They're learning it English from us.
That's love.
That speaks volumes.
You got to think about it. everything that we do at some point is being used as a tool or a testing mechanism to help other cultures or groups of people, regardless of what it may look like. You know what I'm saying? Like our music is mainstream all over the world.
All over.
And you have different cultures using their language to have the same display as if they're here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you hear it, it's like, that sound like us.
Right.
So it's the appreciation at the same time, but it's like, are we actually getting the flowers for it though?
Right.
That's the only thing that need to be real recognized at the end of the day. It's like, yeah, you can do it. I see you. You know, you're making money for it, but are you giving recognition?
Right.
Where recognition is due.
Right. I appreciate that our culture has spread around the world.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't like the costuming part of it. That's the part where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got some more for you though.
Roll up to that wedding, you gonna be like, back, bitch.
Seeing her gain success for using Blaccent was extremely problematic, but I also think she got more critique specifically because she was a woman of color. And I think that people are more likely to hold women of color to a higher standard than they are other groups.
But it sounds like a lot of people on the internet speak with a Blaccent now.
When someone says, like, period, sis.
Pause, hold on, before she dive into it, you gotta think about it. They have a lot of accounts that are hiding behind these accounts. And they can go underneath comments. And they can, like, you know, initiate so many different levels of conversation because of who they're trying to be. And you can sound a certain way, but you're not that person.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
we had somebody come on the channel a couple times, but in particular this one time, a person was trying to portray that they were a black person, and they was trying to say something, like they was trying to they were being negative about something, and I was like,
yeah,
I called them out,
because
never saw that person again.
Because we know that wouldn't have been said. Nah, you gotta that's great.
Sounds like a lot of people on the internet speak with a Blaccent now.
When someone says, like, period, sis, whatever, snatch, all that, it's very much like internet culture.
I think the argument that internet lingo or teen speak is synonymous with Blaccent is actually quite harmful and can be really a slippery slope, because in some ways it normalizes adopting and appropriating black accent or adopting and appropriating black culture as just being the norm. While some folks are saying, well, it's internet lingo, it's internet speak, they're also, you know, becoming huge TikTok celebrities and influencers off of doing these actions.
11, 10, 9.
When a black person does adopt, say, you know, aave, they're seen as ungrammatical, less professional, less desirable, and less likely to be hired.
Wow. That double standard is literally costing people their jobs. So what can we do about it?
I'm not a fan of dragging people online, but I do think holding people accountable could look a lot of different ways. Going back to Awkwafina, one of the ways she could have credited the black community for sort of some of the innovation that she was, you know, taking credit for with her Blaccent would have just been simply saying sorry. I don't profess to be an Awkwafina historian, but I think it's important for us to think of gentler ways that we can engage with each other and engage as communities of color, because we do have a shared destiny and also a shared sense of politics that makes it really important to think about solidarity. So I wonder if there are just other ways of engaging. Hey Originats, thanks for watching.
Alright, yeah, we're gonna stop with that. Make sure you guys go and check our channel out. Well said. But yeah, Blaccent is a thing. But I didn't know people was looking at the internet culturally to say that it's normal for everyone to come here and be something they're not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't like that at all.
Nah. It's more hurtful than anything, if you ask me.
Yeah, my sense of discernment is too strong to play with it.
Right. I guess it's about what side of the internet you're on. Because you can scroll and actually get real authentic people. And you got some people that's doing things that's just for attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let us know your thoughts on this conversation. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.